America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, can we get a roll call, please, Cindy?
Ware,
Here.
Broughton,
Here.
DePalma,
Here.
Marshall,
Here.
Thurman, here, Unruh,
Here.
Rumble.
Here. All right, we need to make some changes to the consent agenda. We're gonna take F off and make the G F, and the number for F needs to be 1,944. There was one meeting that was missed. So with those changes, we're looking for a approval of the agenda as amended.
I just want to make sure I got that right. So F is gone, G is F, and then we changed the dollar amount.
Yes.
Gotcha. I was going to ask what F dollar amount should have been. So, thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, that brings us into our first public hearing for the night, which is the Brandon Township 2023 budget. So we need a motion to open the hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Dana.
Support.
Thank you, Bob. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Is anybody here to speak about the budget? Okay. Looking,
We're here for
nope,
yes.
nope, that's next.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so it doesn't look like there's anybody here for the budget, so we need a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Support.
Thank you. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, public hearing for Brandon Township Community Development Block Grant Funds, fiscal year 2023. We need a motion to open this hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Dana.
Support.
Thank you, Bob. All right, anybody here to speak about the CDBG funds? Oh yeah, sorry, we have to vote first. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, now. Go ahead, Jane, if you're ready.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, come up to the podium here, please.
So, hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Jane Derry Burkett. I'm here representing Brandon Groveland Youth Assistance, and to report what we did with our awarded CDBG money for 21 and 22 money. So we supported Destroying Illusions, which served 300 middle school, high school students. So that was a, what was it? It was a, I'm going to forget what it was, an assembly at the middle school and at the high school. So we paid for that. We paid for the summer, fall tutoring, 20 students, middle school and high school students. We supported 50 Brandon recreation students with soccer, baseball, and cheerleading. Excuse me, I'm a super nerd. We supported winter swimming after the COVID. We did the holiday break with 50 kids. We supported youth football, junior Blackhawks, driver's training, one kid that was requested from the caseworker. We supported Fuji Skill Building with 30 students, Fuji Youth Convention with 12 students, a babysitting and pet sitting certifications with 2 students, boot camp. From a request from our caseworker, we sent 2 students to boot camp. Challenge Day, 200 students at the high school. We estimated $20,000 through the 2 years that we worked with those students. And as you know, we pay in advance for these support finances, and then we get reimbursed with the CDBG money. So programs that were not supported through CDBG money was through our private donation money that we get through the scholarships through Brandon Township, the Village, and Groveland Township. We did Love and Logic. We served 25 families, autism awareness and child abuse, youth recognition, 189 students we supported, and 300 adults we recognized. We recognized the students and their adults attended. The senior lock-in, September Fest, petting zoo. We supported that for 2 days. Christmas support with Fuji Toys. Movie nights, 150 attended, and steps and stories and workshops. We paid for shoes and socks for 24 students, 24 kids, an estimated of $5,000. Those are the things that we did with the non-sponsored money. For the CDBG money, we had to, with the prior list that I shared. Sorry, I'm so nervous.
Okay. Thanks, Jane.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Could I ask what the boot camp is? That does not sound like a positive experience.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Boot camp, what is the boot camp?
Yeah, the boot camp was, the students were in extreme behaviors at the time. And so it was a very kind of strict boot camp, specializing in what the students were going through at the time. I don't remember exactly the name of the group that we sent them to. It was North. I can definitely get that for you.
I was just curious.
Find out, but it was a weekend boot camp. And both of those students were referred to our caseworker, and the caseworker at the time, had counseled the student, and through the counseling suggested to the parents that this was a good course of action. And then we supported that, and the parent, worked with us as well.
Was there any follow-up to see how successful it was?
I'm aware of one student, well, we always are following up to make sure that the money has been well spent. But I am aware of one student that had a great success. The mom was so thrilled. She's joined our board
Good.
and helps assist with the board. So,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you, Jane. Is anybody else here to speak about CDBG funds? Dave?
Yeah, sure. I'm Dave Wilson. Do I need to give my address?
You're fine.
I'm just here to support a portion of the CDBG funds going toward the pickleball courts, the conversion of the skate park into pickleball courts, working with the rec department. And I just wanted to be here to answer questions. Since I am an avid pickleball player, I can answer questions if anybody has questions about that. But again, I just wanted to be here to throw my support behind that portion of the CDBG funds going that direction.
Okay.
Has a redoing of it started yet?
No,
Okay.
nothing's.
I was just
nothing
curious
started.
Do you have quotes and stuff and all that type of stuff?
We have initial quotes, but that process all has to start once,
Okay.
the funds
I was just
are
curious
approved.
where it stood, that's
Yeah.
all. Thank you.
Yeah.
And the funds for pickleball, they have not been released yet.
Okay.
That's a pickle.
I was just seeing if they've started without the fund, like if
Oh.
they had other funding that they could use to start it.
Yeah, and
Yep,
just as a
um,
point of interest, if you do have cable, there's actually a pickleball special going to be on Paramount Network at 8 o'clock on Thursday. For what it's worth.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody? Wayne?
I'm Wayne Wills, reside at 4 North Church Street in Ortonville, also Brandon Township. Wanted to lend a little bit of historical precedent-setting significance that took place 47 years ago as it related to the current tennis courts that are at the Harvey Swanson School now. At that time, in 1975, Ken Stubblefield, an administrator in the school district, myself, and Dennis Goddard formed a corporation. It's called the Ortonville Tennis Court Association. And our goal was to raise $40,000 for the first 4 courts at the corner of Varsity Drive and whatever that street is over there.
Edward.
It's varsity.
Edwards, yeah.
Or-
So we went to the community and we solicited funds, got corporate sponsors, and we stalled. We were at about $30,000 at the time. So our then township clerk, Edna Burton, came to me and said, Wayne, she says, I think we could help you. And so she came up with CDBG money at that time to help finish that project. So there is some synergies and some prior precedent for that. And I, as well as Dave, I'm a senior citizen. I play a lot of pickleball, but not in the winter. Anyway, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Wayne.
Thank you.
Anybody else wish to speak on the CDBG funds?
Good evening.
I don't know if that works.
I think it's just for recording purposes.
I think it's just there for looks.
My
No, I
name is
think
Shiloh
it's-
Christie. My wife Rachel is not here tonight, so I'm actually in her stead. We run a ministry called Fuji, which is Future Generation International. It's a gospel mission. We work specifically in the Sashabaw Meadows and Clarkston Lakes mobile home communities. We've been there for over 20 years now. And so mainly working with the youth, but also the community members in there as well. So let me take a look at my wife gave me a crib sheet here. It started in, I want to say 2000, looks like, yeah, 2000. My mother actually had, she was at a local church there. She had a Bible study. Some of the women that attended this Bible study were in the Clarkston Lakes clubhouse. They used the clubhouse there. And so while they were there, they would bring some snacks and things for the ladies. One night they brought a bunch of cookies, like a big tray full, and a bunch of teenagers from outside came in and just ripped them off. And so they would continue every week to bring stuff, and every now and then the kids would run in and take some. And so they got together and said, "Hey, what do we do about these kids?" You know. And so they decided to get together with, at the time, my wife and I were newly married, and some others, and we put on a Christmas VBS that year. So for 5 days, for 5 nights straight, we had like over 60 kids pack that house, and we just did kind of like a Christmas service for them. We had presents, we had gifts, all that. We did the same thing next year, but this time the kids asked us. They said, "Well, you know, are you going to come back?" And without really thinking, we just said, "Yeah, sure, we'll come back." In fact, we'll come back next Thursday, and we'll just have youth night every week. And so here we are, 20 years later, still doing that. So, Future Generation International is incorporated in 2021 under the name Children and Teens Have Come to Love Fuji. They live on mission, preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, feed the hungry, clothe the needy, serving the community in every possible manner. During COVID, we moved from the Clarkston Lakes Clubhouse to the Sashabaw, which is like 4 times as big. It's community members that rent out the place for us. I mean, we actually pay for it, but they kind of sign it for us. And we have youth, about 50 K through 5, and then a bunch of teenagers. We've taken them on camps, retreats, outings, mentorship, and we've done this for a long time. During COVID, that shut down, and so we had an opportunity to put our masks on, our gloves. We networked with some pastors and some people in Pontiac to with the food warehouse down there. And so we rented a U-Haul, and we got groceries for everybody from the time the pandemic started, which was like second week of March in Michigan. And we did it every Saturday for a year. And so we got together through some local churches that we work with, Bridgewood Church, some at New Hope, and some others that I continue to network with. And we continue to do that to this day. Not as frequent, just because the supply is down, but we were able to feed and continue to feed over 100 families with that. And so about 20 or so volunteers that come out on a Saturday. In fact, this Saturday we'll be giving away turkey dinners to needy families in there. And it's been an ability to just really reach out and get to know some of the community members, and just share kind of what we do and help them out in any way we can. And so there's probably a lot more here that I could go on and say that we've done over these 20 years, but I have a picture that I just would like to share with you if I could. And this is just kind of maybe like a sample size. You can just pass this down. Oops. I get to stay on one. All right, we can stay on that one. The girl on the right is, her name is Anna Moore. She was raised in the community. She's 21 years old now. When she came to us, she was 8 years old. To our Thursday Night Youth, 10
Of course, I lost
years
it.
ago or so.
You have to fix it.
That's
I
okay.
broke it.
And she came to us about 8 years old. There you go.
I don't want to touch it.
I was like,
I won't.
Okay.
And she's, you know, her mother struggled with addiction.
Sir, I don't mean to interrupt. I'm not sure what this has to do with CDBG. Can you,
His-
I'm getting
his
lost in the
group.
weeds here. I don't know what that has to
Oh.
do.
Their
So
group
he-
is asking for funding for.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and you're a
Okay,
501c3 now,
this is
correct?
CDBG, okay.
They were
My-
here
my
last year,
apologies.
but they weren't a 501c3, but now they are.
Okay, sorry.
Kathy, just one question, because I don't know the answer. Can you limit it to 3 minutes in a public hearing, or is there, it's unlimited?
I think that you can do 3 minutes.
Okay. I'm just asking, because normally
No,
we
that's
limit
okay.
it to 3 minutes, so,
Yeah,
and,
no, I didn't-
and I didn't know if you could in a public hearing or not, so I was asking her, because she was the previous supervisor, and I didn't know the answer to that. But normally, when you address the board, you only get 3 minutes, but,
Oh, okay.
so.
Well, I guess I could be done if you want.
That's fine. I'm not trying to push you out, I'm just
No,
saying.
I've probably given you kind of the gist of what we do. and
Yep.
It's a lot. We've, you know, I mean, if you have any questions, we can go more. I was just going to go through this quick, you know, just these two, just kind of testimonials, but if you're pressed for time, that's okay.
Well, I know, and Scott and I are both on the CDBG, so, or on the BGYA, so we've both know who your organization is too already, so. But I know some of the other board members do too, but, all right. You good?
Any questions?
I don't have any.
Nope,
questions.
my main thing was just, we were waiting for you guys to become a 501c3, because I know you guys addressed the board about a year ago, or, I think it was your
Maybe it's 2
wife,
years
Rachel.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years ago. And we were kind of just, one of the things, in order for us, you have to be a 501c3.
Right.
And we have that now.
Yep.
I have a question for Russ.
Yep.
So when we distribute the CDBG money,
Mhm.
I know one of the things is youth programs.
Mhm.
Can we, within the youth programs, give to more than one program, or does it have to all go to one?
So you, for public services, you can give up to 3 different public services. And you can only, you give up to 30% of the funds that you receive.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
All right, thank you, Chef.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Is there anyone else that is here to talk about CDBG? Okay. All right, so we're looking for a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Kathy, thank you, Steve. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, that brings us into our reports. We do have our treasury report ending September 30th. And there was, just added a, general ledger report as well. If you don't have one, we have an extra copy or two here. No designated report, no reconciliations. We do have a building department report. If you notice, we are up to 19 new builds this year, which is 5 more than we had the entire year last year, so that's going well. No Parks and Rec report. We do have an Edmund Burton Senior Center. Oh, there she is. And Faye is here, so I'll let Faye speak on that.
Mouthy tonight, too, guys.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
I'll go fast. So, Oakland County has a grant that is going in December. I had the Zoom meeting today. I initially had talked to Ashley, I can't remember her last name, and Ken Dobson. I had called them, and they got on the phone and talked to me, and I said, you know, I've never done a grant before. I said, so I'm gonna have lots of questions. They said, no problem. They answered some of the questions. It will cover, matching funds can be past, present, or future. So we already have in the budget the $15,000 for the painting. So that we already considered as a matching funds. My dementia class, because it's professional development, and my dementia certification, that will go as a matching. You know, so what we're really kind of trying to go for is the roof and new gutters.
Okay.
So, they had a bunch of question and answers today. So, and then they'll have another one on the 28th, which will be right before the the application is due. And then they will send out notification letters in January, and the monies will be dispersed in February. It will require a resolution signed and approved by the board that will give the matching, you know, that will say where this is coming from, what you're gonna use as matching. But it does not have to be in before the application. The resolution and the signed resolution doesn't have to be in until before the monies are dispersed.
Okay.
So I'm seriously thinking about calling a few companies, getting a few quotes on what it would take to do the roof, how much it would be for the gutters, because they said that's easier because then that's what you can turn in.
Right.
That says this is the estimate that we've gotten, so this is, and they're giving up to $250,000.
Okay.
So I just wanted to let you guys know, because I'll be coming back in December and.
For a resolution?
For a resolution. Also, I had spoken with Rosalind last week. It's been a long couple weeks. We are really in need of another part-time driver. We are just inundated with medicals, appointments, and everything. And I mean, I'm wearing my drivers pretty thin. They're really, you know, I've got one that can only work like 15, 16 hours a week. And it makes it really hard for, I mean, we are getting our third bus back tomorrow, so we'll see how long we get to keep that one. So actually tomorrow I have all 3 drivers because I don't have anybody else to go down and get that bus because we're not turning another one in.
Right.
So, I talked to Rosalind and we really do need another part-time driver.
Is this because the employees don't want to work anymore, or because we're limiting them to the number of hours?
It's not, I think it's kind of like a mix. It's not that they don't want to work anymore, it's just that one can only work 15 hours. No, up to 15, 16 hours a week, okay? The other one, Linda, I've been running her raggedly. You know, so, and I mean, I'm watching her hours so that she doesn't go over the average for the year. But none of them want full-time.
Right.
And when we put the ad out for a full-time position, we had a hard time filling that position, that full-time position. And I think a lot of what comes down to it now is when you have, you know, you can go to a dispensary, you can't have people driving buses, so that was something that we run up against. And it's hard to fill that position.
That's okay. It's just, as far as the township is concerned, we don't care if we pay one person 40 hours or, you know, except for the full-time status. But
Right.
it doesn't, you could have 10 people, you know.
Yeah,
If you need to hire somebody and they're going to put in the hours, I don't see a problem with that.
I just wanted to let you know, as we were discussing, because it's getting harder and harder, and I just keep saying,
It is.
we're gonna have to change that one, you know?
Yeah.
And it makes it hard when they make their own appointments. Sometimes it's much easier for me to just call them than to have to call the doctor's office back and change it 3 different times.
Sure.
So if somebody has physical therapy, I just say, okay, you make sure your orders are at the therapy place, let me have the telephone number, and then I call and make them, because it's easier, because I have the book right in front of me. So,
Thank you, Faye.
that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any CDBG?
No, I still have not received a report from CDBG regarding just the financial. And as soon as I get one, I promise you guys will have one, but I still haven't received one.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That brings us to trustee reports. Kathy?
Okay, I see there will be a new administrative assistant in the supervisor's office, and I would like to suggest giving the applicants a work sample as part of the interviewing process. Although it will be difficult, very difficult to fill Pam's shoes, the person in this position needs to excel at wordsmithing and proofreading, and a work sample is a good way to identify their abilities at the interview. And I just wanted to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, and we have a lot to be thankful for.
Steve?
Oh, nothing. Happy Thanksgiving.
Bob?
I'd like to commend Rosalind and all her crew for Election Day. Everything went really smooth. I made it in early to station number 2, I believe it was, the one on Sashaba.
Yep.
And I got there fairly early, and they were already lined up out to the cemetery. Not to say they were old or anything, but they were lined up to the cemetery, waiting to get in. And it went flawless. I mean, it went really well. So thank you to you and your
Thank you.
volunteers, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Bob. Dana?
Thanks, Bob.
My committees did not meet this past month, so I have nothing to report on that. I agree. I went in midday, right before the lunch rush. I was hoping I'd beat the lunch rush, and I didn't beat the lunch rush because it looks like the polls were busy all day, but I thought it still went smooth, and I had no problems with my little wait, and I think that you guys did a great job. Elections seemed to go great, so good job, Roslyn and crew.
Thank you.
And happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
All right, that brings us to Scott.
Yeah, tax bills in theory go out December 1st, and I say in theory because I don't know who to, I need to be careful who I hold accountable here, but they rushed through this transit tax millage, and now they don't know what to do with it, and that includes how we're going to get it on these tax bills, and so I'm still waiting to hear, because yes, it's going to hit you
It's already
this winter.
This one? I was
Oh, yeah,
thinking
they
it was
can't
the
wait to
next
get your
one.
money.
Yeah.
So, in theory, tax bills are going out on the 1st, but they may be delayed depending on if Oakland County can get its act together. And I'll say that for the camera, get your act together. And that's it.
Thank you. Rosalind?
Well, good evening. Thank you all for attending tonight's board meeting for Brandon Township. Last Friday was Veterans Day, so I just want to say thank you to all who served and is serving our country. On November 12th, I attended the Thanksgiving dinner at the Edna Burton Senior Center. It was a great turnout. The food was good, so I just want to say thank you to Faye and her staff for hosting such a wonderful event for our community. It was very nice, so thank you. When you entered the township, you may have seen a box that's wrapped with Christmas paper. If you can, please donate. They are accepting an unwrapped toy for the community Christmas toy store. Brandon Township had a great turnout for the general election. Out of 13,556 voters, 8,124 voters voted, which is a 60% turnout. Of that 60% turnout was a 37% who voted absentee. So I just would like to give a big thank you to all the election inspectors, the chairs, co-chairs, maintenance staff, our counting board, receiving board, the clerk's office staff. Thank you for your hard work and dedications to make elections successful for Brandon Township.
Thank you, Rosalind. All right. For me, Friday was Veterans Day, and I did get to attend the 18th annual Veterans Day ceremony out at the Great Lakes National Cemetery. That was a really nice ceremony, and I enjoyed going to see that. And then I just want to say good luck to all the hunters tomorrow morning, and happy Thanksgiving next week. And that's it for me. So that brings us right into our correspondence, which we have the BGYA meeting minutes of 9/13/2022. It looks like a letter from Haven. Election Commission meeting minutes of 6/24/2002. The Sewer Subcommittee meeting minutes of October 17th, 2022. ZBA meeting minutes for 8/24 and 9/28. So that brings us into citizens' comments on agenda items only. Any citizens have anything to comment on the agenda? Okay, not seeing any. We'll move on. Nothing in our discussions. That brings us to the consent agenda that we amended before the meeting. So we have regular meeting minutes of 10/3, special meeting minutes of 10/11, special meeting minutes of 10/24, regular bills in the amount of $26,003.75, prepays in the amount of $328,477.56, and trustee timesheets in the amount of $1,944. So we're looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Steve. Because we're spending money, we'll go ahead and roll call that, please.
Unruh,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
De Palma,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes. Motion carries. No unfinished business, so that brings us right into our new business. And the first thing we have is our General Appropriations Act for fiscal year 2023. So we are looking for a motion to approve this.
I did want to point that mistake out.
Okay, you could have done that 3 weeks ago when I gave you the paperwork, not 5 minutes before the meeting.
I know.
But you didn't.
I didn't read it until this afternoon.
Okay.
So just in the employees, the breakdown of in the clerk's office of the employees' hours, it was just a multiplication error of the 1387 hours with $19.85. What's written on here is 41,288, and it should be 27,531.95.
We'll still be fine with the budget as it's presented and still have plenty of funds to cover any of that. So it's really a non-issue.
Well, it's a decrease, so yeah.
It's not an issue.
I'm not seeing where you're talking.
It's not on there. It's on the
It's-
spreadsheets that I emailed 3 weeks ago.
The clerk's wages. So it's 13,756 less than the amount
So it doesn't
for the
affect anything.
in the clerk's office, on the wages, the whole wages.
So I'll go ahead and make the motion to approve the Charter Township of Brandon General Appropriations Act for fiscal year 2023.
I just have a question about it. I don't. So if it's lower than what it should be, do you think we should increase that if
No,
it's.
we don't need to increase it. It's just an error. You have plenty enough money to pay all your wages out of your line. And it's not on this. It's
No,
on the
right.
other thing that has nothing to do with that.
Well, it does,
It has
because
to
it's
do
part of
with
the
the
budget.
wages.
It has to do with the budget as well, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not on this. So,
So, at the end of the year, so appropriation, to my understanding, when we look at the appropriations, we'll just, if it is short, we'll just have to do a
it's
budget
not
amendment.
gonna be
and
short, it's gonna be over.
Okay.
So the money will go into carry forward.
Oh, so then, okay.
Support, by the way.
Thank you, Bob.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
So we're not gonna be short the money, we're gonna
All
have,
overage.
Should be, oh,
we're
so
gonna
then,
be, we're not gonna be over the money.
No.
Actually, is what it is. We're not gonna spend more than what we're saying we're gonna spend. We're gonna be short of what we're saying we're gonna spend, which then just goes into carry forward.
Yep.
So we're not short any funds that we need to have there for the expense.
Nope.
so
We're not going
then
over.
we'll be okay.
We're just over budgeted, basically,
Right.
is what we're doing.
All right, so we have a motion and a second, and we'll take a roll call on that, please.
Thurman,
Yes.
Unruh,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
De Palma,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes, motion carries.
Who made the motion on that?
I did.
Okay.
All right, and then next we have our Public Act 152, our yearly opt-out of this. So we're just looking to make the motion to opt out of the Publicly Funded Health Insurance Contribution Act for 2023.
I'll make the motion as written.
Thank you, Bob.
I'll second.
Thank you, Rosalind. Any questions? Okay, we'll go ahead and roll call that, please.
Unruh,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
De Palma,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes. Motion carries. All right, and then we do have a resolution in front of you that Stuart prepared. He found that he had 2 errors in the previous ordinances that we approved in October. So he wants us to correct those by this resolution, and it is spelled out on the resolution what those errors were. So we need a motion for this.
But just for the
resolution.
public, this.
It was just
It's
numbering.
not
It was just a
content-based, it's
typo.
just numbering.
Yep.
Correct.
Just
Yeah.
numbering.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution of correction of typographical errors, ordinance 188-22 as presented.
Second.
Thank you. All right, any other questions on that?
So when I was reading over the resolution, I didn't see anywhere if it had to be posted in the paper again.
does.
So it does, okay.
Yep.
It just did not state that in the resolution.
Yeah, Stuart drafted that, but we'll get it. Yeah, he did mention that in his email, so.
Okay.
It does. Yep, okay, so let's do a roll call on that, because we're amending that.
Blair,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
De Palma,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes.
Unruh,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes. Motion carries. All right, and then the next one is the Studio Tyson agreement. This is the gentleman who handles OTV, and he has done it he does all the IT for OTV. He's done that now for 20 years, and this is his yearly invoice, and there is no increase over last year.
I'll make the motion to approve the Studio Tyson LLC invoice for $3,600 as
I'll
presented.
support him. Since he tried to make that motion and he
Thank
took
you.
it from me.
Thank you. Any questions on that?
Yeah, my question is, why is this even on the agenda for this amount? Why is this on the agenda?
Because it's a contract that we have to enter, so it
Okay.
has to come to the board.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
I know, I thought the same thing, but.
Okay.
All right, can you take a roll call on that, please?
Broughton,
Yes.
De Palma,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes.
Unruh,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes. Motion carries. That brings us to the next resolution, which is the interlocal agreement for Oakland County to approve a designated accessor. So Oakland County is making us do this. We have done this in the past. Basically saying if our assessor doesn't do his job properly or quit or couldn't do it physically for some reason, that Oakland County would step in his stead and complete the job and then charge us for it.
Of course they would.
So
Right.
we have to sign this. We can't get around it, so this is a resolution for that.
And we're assured that this doesn't change the way we're doing our business right now as far as.
Correct.
With our. own
This is
assessor.
only if
It
our
doesn't,
own assessor
and,
does not.
You
Sorry.
know, we say Bill's our own assessor, but really, the supervisor is the assessor. We're using
Yes.
Bill as
To do it.
providing the information to help you do that job. And just to be clear, that's how that works, is the supervisor is the assessor here in the township.
All right. So we're looking for a motion to approve the resolution for Oakland County designated assessor, approval of contract, and an authorized signer as presented.
Is that a motion or?
No, I'm just reading what it says.
Oh, okay, it's like, I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for Logan County designated assessor, approval of contract and authorize signer.
Thank you, Steve.
Support.
Thank you, Rob.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
All right, let's take a roll call, please.
DePalma.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes.
Unruh.
Yes.
Blair.
Yes.
Broughton.
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes, motion carries. All right, and then we have our preliminary sewer master plan, and he's here from Row Engineering if we have any questions, right? Yep. Okay. So we did meet, we being the sewer subcommittee, myself, Steve, and Bob met, reviewed this contract, and also had Stuart review it. We're at the point in the process of our potential sewer now where we need to determine how we hook our residents' school and everybody else up to it once it's here. So this will be the plan that will help us facilitate that. And we did approve it and recommend it. And so is Brian Coburn from Water Resources is recommending we do this as well. Stuart reviewed it and approved it. And it's my understanding that Oakland County is gonna potentially get us another another grant to reimburse the $30,000 that we're looking to spend on this.
What's the status?
Yeah, come on up.
What's the status of the last reimbursement that we're supposed to get?
It has not gone all the way through yet, to my understanding, but it will.
Yeah, good evening, my name is Scott Helmeyer, I'm an engineer with Roll, and if you guys approve us, I'll be leading the project for the sewer study. Was also involved with the original study in 2000 we did for the main interceptor. To answer Jason's question, the county is putting out some funding that could potentially pay for the study, like some of the study we're talking about here. The details hasn't been released yet.
Right.
We've been kind of expecting it for a while, but haven't got them yet. But what we understand is it can be retroactive, so you can incur costs now and then get applied for those to be reimbursed later. What the county's telling us.
Maybe you're not the person to ask, and I think Jason kind of answered it, but.
It's still in process.
Okay.
We have not
So
got it yet,
it's-
obviously.
Are the other, like, I know there's other.
It's been approved.
townships-
Yeah, the funds have been approved, but the details
Right.
of the application.
But the other townships who are involved in this are also approving to do the study, right? Like Groveland has, like.
I don't know that Groveland, this is, so far as I know, that this is us and the village of Ortonville having separate ones, and Ortonville's gonna do theirs after ours, but I don't know the status of how they in Groveland's, but I assume they
Obviously-
have to do something similar.
If they don't do it, I mean, we
Yep.
hook on to them, so if they don't
Yep.
hook on, we don't hook on ever, so I'm just.
Well, this is my point, is at what point, I guess our board has not received a good update on, is this even gonna happen? You know, and how much more
Yes,
money
it's
are we
still
gonna
having-
throw?
they're saying 5 to 7 years out to get it here, but as far as right now, everything is still a go.
That's what I've heard too
Yeah, so
from.
Genesee County, you'll be done topographic survey work. You know, that Genesee County, Oakland County are working on the final contractual agreements on the portion of Genesee County, so I know that's making very good traction.
And that's just to do this area though, that's highlighted and like that's outskirted in this map, right? I mean, it's not gonna go, because I know in
I don't know
our
what
thing
you're
where
asking.
the back of this shows where it's gonna be, like.
They're gonna do
sewer
the
district.
study of what, yes, the same,
Okay.
our area hasn't changed from the
That's
beginning.
why I was just making sure,
Yes.
because it's like, it's saying for Brandon Township residents, but it's not for all our residents, just for that.
It's just down the corridor and the subdivisions
Okay.
around the lakes
Okay.
and Glass Road.
Right, just that listing,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that hasn't changed.
I'll make the motion.
I'd like to ask a question
you, Dana.
first. My question is, the funds that we're going to appropriate for this, are they going to come out of our general fund carry forward, or can we use
We have that
the
money in the-
infrastructure
yes,
money?
we are.
Okay, that's, okay.
Yep.
Right.
It's in the designated for the sewers, in the designated fund.
Then if we get
Then we
reimbursed
just-
for it, then that has to
Then it
go
goes back
back
in there.
into
the same
into
thing.
the reserve
Yep.
funding for that to spend on the rest of the project.
Mm-hmm.
I will second that
No,
motion.
the answer to that part is no, because ARPA funds have to be allocated by,
No, we've already done that. Everybody keeps saying, Kathy said that at the last meeting too. We've already applied all of our funds. We took it as lost revenue. and
no, I'm
the
talking
money's-
about for the actual sewer project itself. The ARPA funds they have to be
Oh, the ones they
expended
gave
by
us.
2026, I believe.
Yeah.
They have to be designated by 2024 and completely used up by 2026, and that's going to be well before this project comes through here.
So then how are we going to do that then if this goes?
Our funds, not, he's talking about the county funds that gone toward the project,
Oh,
that the
I
250
gotcha.
million.
Okay.
Whatever they gave us.
Our funds that we receive, we can continue to save to pay for our
Yes.
portion.
No.
He's
Yes,
saying
we
no.
can. We've claimed them as lost revenue. They're our funds now. It's
Okay.
no longer ARPA funds. That's what I filled out months ago and sent in and
Okay.
turned in. It was approved.
Okay.
But do we still have to use it on infrastructure?
Yes. Somebody seconded that. I forget who it was now.
I didn't finish making my motion, but I'll
Oh.
make the motion that says to approve the attached preliminary master plan services agreement and allow the supervisor to sign it.
I'll second that.
All right. Any other questions or comments?
Who seconded?
Rosalind.
Rosalind.
All right, we'll take a roll call on that, please.
Marshall,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes.
Unruh,
Yes.
Ware,
Yes.
Brotman,
Yes.
De Palma,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes. Motion carries. All right, and that, thank you. Yep.
Thank you, Brian.
Yep. All right, Chief, you're up. We have 4 fire department items.
Good job on midnight.
Thank you.
All right. First thing up is our joint operating agreement, the fire authority
Hard
joint
time
operating
reading
agreement
that.
with the village of Ortonville. This was discussed at our joint meeting. We had Stuart Cooney draft up the document that was attached. That document then was reviewed by both the township supervisor, the village manager, as well as the fire authority. You can see the 2 documents. The one shows all of the, tracks all the changes, and the other one is the clean version of it. So a lot of different changes. There's a lot there. Basically, what it does, it's going to allow, part of the question was, how can the fire department operate more efficiently and expediently when it comes to making purchases, hiring, doing stuff like that? And at the budget, does it require both the village council and the township boards to be there to approve, to look at the budget? So that was the takeaway from that meeting, and that's the direction that this is headed. So basically, what changes in the document is Brandon Township. There's still going to be a fire authority of 2 members. The village manager, township supervisor. I will present the information or request to them. They will in turn then say yes or no. If it's a no, I go back and figure out what I need to change or what the procedure is at that point. If it's a yes, it goes to the township board. Township board approves or denies. If it approves, then it's just sent to the village as a advisement at that point for the purchases or the budget or any of those items. One of the things that the village manager wanted to see is that he could still make sure that I showed up for some of the village meetings. And I said, absolutely. And he said, I don't need you at all of them, but if you'd show up for a few of them, just to make sure that, everybody knows that you're still kicking and still in charge. And I said, absolutely, we can make all that work. So that, we'll just make it a little cleaner, a little easier as we go forward for everybody that's, that's in part of this. part of that is that the purchases or hiring of new people could take anywhere from 45 to 60 days in our current system. This will shorten that down tremendously, so, which is definitely a benefit all the way around. If there's any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
You cleared the room out, Dave.
I know.
And this was recommended by the fire authority too. We did review it already.
So you don't feel you need more than just the supervisor and village manager on the fire authority? Because we used to have, what,
Well-
people, like, I don't know, there's a couple on the board
There
here.
was-
Say Bob Marshall, that was.
I got fired, yeah.
And don't take it as firing, because we respected your input greatly.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
We had one in the village.
Yes, he laughed when he said it.
That's why I'm laughing.
And, prior to that, the fire authority was a 6-person board. So I think with the days and times that we're in, this seems to be a lot more appropriate for how we actually run day-to-day operations.
Okay.
It still has to be voted on by the board.
Correct.
Yes.
Right.
Of the township board, right?
Right, the
So,
township board.
And then beyond that, the village is more, like I said.
And you don't have to do everything twice anymore.
Exactly.
Right, and I understood
Or 3
taking
times.
that away because the village is part of the township, so
Yep.
they're still covered in that.
Yep.
I just didn't know if they still wanted someone to be on it, kind of like how we have someone on the planning commission to report back to us, so like,
It'll be the village
It
manager.
would be the village
Yeah.
manager.
yeah, that's true.
Yep.
I'll go ahead and make the suggested motion.
Support.
Thank you, Bob. All right, because we are changing that, I
Supporting
want
getting
to.
fired.
I am.
We'll do
I
a
was a
roll call,
horrible
Cindy.
employee, so of course I want to get rid of me.
Thurman,
Kathy, she call. Roll
Oh,
call.
yes.
Unruh,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Broutman,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes. Motion carries. That brings us into our next item, which is the purchase of electric extrication rescue tools or e-tools.
And don't let Bob kid you, he was clicking his heels on the way up. He was happy. All right, so what you have in front of you is a request to purchase electric extrication rescue tools, also referred to as e-tools. It's something I've been discussing for about 3 years. Part of the problem is our current pneumatic tools that we have, hydraulic cutters and spreaders and that, just doesn't have the strength for what the new vehicles are coming out with. Not to mention that the motor is very loud, the tool is very bulky, and you're connected to a tether line, and that's the 2 hydraulic lines that go to those tools. With e-tools, they've been in the market now for a little over 5 years. A lot of changes have been made to them, and I think we're at the point now where I feel confident that we can purchase into that and be able to get a similar life out of them as what we have now by just buying the batteries occasionally as they wear out. I looked at, or I should say our crews, looked at 3 different systems. We've had 2 different times where they would bring the extrication equipment out. We tore up cars. The crews every time came back with, they really liked the Genesis. Not only did they like the Genesis, they liked the ergonomics of the Genesis. They liked how the tool handled. The batteries are batteries that I can go buy at Lowe's, Home Depot. They're basically a Makita battery or a Milwaukee battery. So they really like that aspect of it. I like the aspect that the other 2 companies that we looked at were over $5,000 more, which isn't bad. I mean, they're all similar in price. So what you're looking at is a request to purchase 2 complete sets. One's gonna go on engine 1 that's in town, the other's gonna go on engine 2 that's off station 2. And then when we get the new engine, 2 years from now probably, then we'll be looking at replacing the set and putting a new set on that one as well at that point in time. So you'll see there's 2 cutters, 2 spreaders, 2 rams. The cutters are what we use to cut, if we have to cut an A post or a B post, that's the post that comes down by the windshield or the post that's behind the door. So if we have to remove a roof, that's what that is for. The spreader is to pop the doors. And then the ram is to push the steering wheel, the dash, away from somebody if it lands on top of them or rolls on top of them. The extension and the threaded heads and the slip heads, that's just for the rams so that we can get a better grip on the car. And then the combination two is for us to put in our command vehicle, and we can use that to breach doors, both residential and commercial, and it gives us another access point. So what you're looking at for the total thing is a little over $81,000. I think I have a suggested motion of not to exceed $82,000. Answer any questions?
I have a question. This was already included into the budget that you did?
Yes, and that's for next year.
Right,
And we'll
so that's
actually
already
pay
in-
for it in next year.
Right, we're approving it now, save the money, but you've already included that when we talked
Correct.
about your budget, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make the motion to approve the purchase of the above-listed Genesis
I was going to do the exact same thing, so let her go.
E-Tools,
I didn't know if you had another question.
not to exceed $82,000 from Michigan Rescue Resources LLC from the 2023 E&H budget, equipment line item 205-344-977-000, and dispose of the used Amicus equipment by donation to a department in northern Michigan.
I'll second that.
All right.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing, that we've been talking about doing this for quite a while, and I know that you put it in your budget, so let's do it.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, Cindy, you go ahead and roll call, please.
Unruh,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes, motion carries. All right, and what do we got next? Fuel?
Yep. So you have budget amendments in front of you. Surprise, surprise. Even though, the fuel line item was well over. I had budgeted enough that I thought we were gonna be really good. Well, surprise, surprise, that's not gonna happen. So we need to increase those two
Especially
line
with
items.
diesel.
All right.
I can make the motion.
Go ahead.
I'll make the motion to, let's see, you don't have a suggested one?
Yeah, it's on
Yeah,
there.
it's on
Yeah,
there.
at the bottom, if I approved, I would motion.
Oh, okay. I'll make a motion to increase line item 206-751-601-000 gasoline from $20,000 to $26,000, and to increase line item 206-751-602-000 diesel from $15,000 to $26,000.
And where's that getting drawn from, Dave?
Airport.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll support it.
Chief, I have a question. I know we had, the last meeting we had for the fire board,
Yep.
I mentioned the pending shortage of diesel. Have you checked with Hamilton's and see? where they-
Hamilton's doesn't see it to be an issue.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yep. And I know there's some mixed things out there that,
Yeah.
we're gonna see it. Some are saying we are, some are saying we're not.
Yeah, I know, flip a coin.
Dave, how, does Hamilton's, do you have an option to pre-buy from them? Or set up some kind of contract?
I have never asked that.
Pain.
And probably, they would be a little leery of that, only because right now, they sell it to us at the lowest price that they can sell it to us at. They take out the taxes and all of that at that point, so, and it's very volatile. I mean, it is.
I'm all for supporting local business. What happens if we find out that, yeah, we could have pre-purchased our fuel and saved
And I will ask
$10,000?
them. I will ask that for.
But if not from them, maybe from a company, I'm asking, I'm not
Right,
saying
well,
that we should do this.
So the issue with buying it from another company is we don't have fuel pumps.
Right, we don't have somewhere to
The
store
only
it.
one that we have a fuel pump for
Gotcha.
is out Station 2 is a diesel fuel pump, and that's it. We cannot put a gas pump above ground out there.
Mhm.
We have to be so many feet away from wells And that just will not work in that area nor in the village.
So are they coming to fill your trucks then, is that?
No, we go down to the fuel yard.
They go there.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, behind.
Station 2 are all diesel
behind the mill?
vehicles, except for one
Gotcha.
ambulance.
Okay, I always wondered how that worked.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we can just go down to the fuel yard and we can
I
fill it
gotcha.
up there.
I gotcha.
So it'd be hard to have a third-party vendor.
Understood.
And what I could tell you is that we do have the WEX fuel cards, in case we're out and about, we need to fill.
Right.
And they are always higher than what
Sure.
Hamilton's are.
Okay.
Yeah. Scott, we also fill up our rec and our building department trucks there too.
That I know we did.
Yeah.
I know we did that.
And smart buses.
Oh, yeah.
The senior
Senior
center as
center.
well. They do a really good job as a community partner, and I can't stress how important that is.
Oh,
They have
absolutely.
always, even when Station 2 was on LP, out there we had a 1,000-gallon pig, we always were included in their pre-buy, and we never had to sign it. But they have been great community partners and great community
Okay.
supporters.
Absolutely.
As a local business.
Thanks, Chief.
My job to ask questions.
Oh, yeah, no, I get it, absolutely. We'd be remiss if it wasn't, and I'm glad you brought that up. It was a chance for me to give that information. Okay.
That's a good question.
All right, let's go ahead and roll call that one, please.
Ware,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
De Palma,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes.
Unruh,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes. Motion
Who,
carries. Kathy and Dana.
Kathy and Dana, okay.
All right, last fire department item?
Yeah, so the last thing is our fire code. We haven't updated the fire code since 2003. It's time. So you see the changes in there. You were given a track change that shows all the additions and deletions. I've worked diligently with our township attorney to come up with the document that you have in front of you as far as the actual ordinance and to the changes. So if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. There will be copies at both the township and the fire department of this fire code, so any resident can come in and check that out, look it over, see where we're getting our information from, if they have any questions to that.
Thank you for providing all of this.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
One question I did have is it talked about the International Fire Code, and there was a few years back that we were trying to, that there was a
Building code.
building
It
code
was
about that.
the property
This is
maintenance
totally
code.
different than that, and if we
This
approve
is
this,
not
this
a-
is not that.
No, this is
Okay.
not the property maintenance code that you were looking at.
That international thing that they were trying to pass, okay.
No, so the fire code, the reason we use the International Fire Code, there's two different things you can use. You can either use NFPA 101, or you can use the International Fire Code. In Michigan, it's about 90% use the International Fire Code. And the reason we use the International Fire Code is because it matches up perfectly with the International Building Code. So when we reference, it references one or the other. Also, the International Fire Code will reference NFPA, which is the National Fire Protection. All three documents will actually work cohesively together. It's just a little clearer and a little cleaner by using the International Building Code and the International Fire Code together.
But we don't have to use them together.
No, we still use them together, actually, we do.
But
The
we
fire
don't,
code-
we haven't approved the building international.
There's the Michigan Building Code that is out there.
Right.
And you're going to be seeing the Michigan Building Code probably be updated within the next probably 30 to 60 days.
But we haven't approved that international building code is
You
what I'm
have
saying.
not approved the International
Property
Property
maintenance code.
It's not the building
That's
code.
totally separate.
Okay, so we haven't
So
approved that, and
that
us
would-
doing this has nothing to do with that, is
Correct.
what I wanted to make sure, and we've always used this international code
We
anyways,
have always
correct?
used the International Fire
Okay,
Code.
I just want to make sure this wasn't a way of getting that back.
No.
Sneaking it in.
Two totally different things.
Just
Two
checking, I
different
see
animals.
international, and I start to go, oh
yeah,
no.
No, two different codes.
Okay.
All right.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Brandon Township Michigan Ordinance Fire Code amending ordinance as presented.
I'll go ahead and second that. Any other questions on that? Okay, can we do a roll call, please?
Broughton,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes.
Unruh,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes, motion carries. Next, we have the amendment to second reading here for the civil fines that we brought a couple months ago, and it kind of slipped through the cracks, so we need to bring it back for the second reading. So what you have is the second reading in front of you.
Yeah, we each got two of the same thing. They're different dates. One's November 2nd, one's November 14th.
I don't know, I only have one.
The one, is
I
it
have
dated the
two also.
14th?
This is dated November 2nd.
I have the 14th.
So I wonder if you made another
Well,
change to it or something, I don't know.
I looked at both of them.
Yeah, I
It
have
looks
both
the
also.
same.
I think things were ran thinking the meeting might have been, because I had a lot of, like, my packet had like two things of a
I
lot
did
of things
too.
in it. So I think that, because the second is when we would have met if it wasn't for the,
So probably the date was just changed then?
no, the second was a Wednesday.
Yeah,
so don't
I
know.
couldn't find any difference between the two.
Yeah.
We should have met the 7th if it.
All right, so I guess we'll go with the one that says the 14th on it.
Yes, okay.
Yep.
Would anybody like to make that motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt the second reading municipal civil infraction fines amending ordinance chapter 1, sections 1 through 12, Code of Ordinances for the Charter Township of Brandon as presented.
Thank you. I will go ahead and second that one. All right, any other comments? Cindy, can we take a roll call, please?
DePalma,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes.
Unruh,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes.
Can I have that back and I'll make a copy for
You're
you?
good. Have that. You're good. All right, so that brings us to the last item, which is the 2023 meeting and holiday schedule. Rosalind?
So we put this together. We do this every year. So all of the board meetings are going to fall the first Monday of the month. There was a few, due to the holiday. They're listed above in parentheses. And the holiday calendar, Lisa actually put this together before she left when she moved to Holland. And I kind of went through and double checked everything according to our policy and depending on how the holidays fell. So do you guys have any questions or? The only one thing that I noticed, especially with tonight, it would be kind of nice, is to get with like the Village and Groveland and kind of correspond our meetings a little bit differently so that we can attend those meetings. So I think that would be kind of nice, but this was not checked with other surrounding jurisdictions.
School board too, but I'm pretty sure
Yeah, that
theirs
would
is
be
always
nice.
the third Wednesday, or the third Monday,
Okay.
so I don't think we ever fall to that.
I'll go ahead and.
I
sorry, Scott.
wanted to say something here. Something, it kind of was briefly discussed at the village meeting. This is just something this might crop up, is it was one thing that when it was called Columbus Day, yeah, we can use that as a floating holiday. We'll float that one as an option for another holiday somewhere. I forget how we're doing it here, how Columbus Day is being handled. Didn't we decide to take the day after Thanksgiving for Columbus Day? Isn't that what we're doing here?
That's what's been done.
Right,
Columbus
and
Day.
I understand that, but I'm getting to a point. So now, because Columbus is no longer popular, they're referring to it as the Indigenous Peoples holiday, and we might not end up having the option to use that as a floating holiday in the future. I'm just telling you that it's something just to keep in the back of your mind.
Okay. I don't think that is one of the holidays in our policy.
It's not, but I don't know if during this last year when President Biden decided to call it that, if we declared that a national holiday at that point, I don't know if he did that.
Got it.
That's why I'm bringing it up.
Got it. Thanks,
So like
Scott.
Juneteenth, we're going to have another
Exactly.
one?
Yep.
They just want to keep giving the holidays
Yep.
up.
It's not their money.
All right, well, I'll go ahead and approve the motion. This as presented, the calendar 2023 meeting and holiday schedule as presented.
Second.
Thank you, Steve. We'll go ahead and roll call that too, just for the heck of it.
Marshall,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes.
Unruh,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes, motion carries. That brings us to any other citizen comments on anything?
Good evening.
I just wanted to take this opportunity to introduce myself, because I know there's quite a few of you that I have not had an opportunity to meet yet. My name is Shauna Farrell, and I am a partner with Taylor & Morgan CPA. And we are the firm that has been hired to come in and go through the finance department, kind of clean up the books and records, if you will, get them caught up. So we will be starting our work. I have 2 colleagues of mine that will be coming with me on Thursday. We will be starting, we'll be here all day on Thursday, and then we will come up with a schedule in the next upcoming months that will get our goal of getting everything caught up and up to December 31st, basically.
Great.
Thank you, Shauna.
Thank you.
Sorry, we made you sit through our whole meeting for that.
Side note too, I need to mention I am also a resident.
Yep.
So, it's been unusual for me to actually be in the township or in the community working where I actually live. So, opportunity of us, we're excited.
Good.
We're excited to have you.
Yes, we are.
I'm a resident too.
For now. For now.
I just got kicked out.
You're out, Steve.
Oh, gosh, Steve.
All right, that brings us to board comments. Kathy, you got anything else?
Well, I just wanted to add that, Rosalind, great job on the elections, and thank you to all the veterans.
Thank
Steve?
you.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving. Good luck to you hunters out there. That's it.
Bob?
Keep an eye on what you should be thankful for, and remember it on Thanksgiving.
Dana?
Yes, I'm sorry I missed Veterans Day, so happy Veterans Day, and I didn't miss it when the day came, but saying it here. But anyways, yes, happy Thanksgiving, and that's it.
Thank you. Scott? Nope. Rosalind?
I just wanted to kind of touch base regarding CDBG funds and just kind of let you guys know that no work can begin on those projects prior to those funds being released.
And they all have to be 501c3 groups that are requested.
That is for public services, yes.
Oh, the
But I
others
was-
don't have to be a 501c3, just if you're a public service?
The other ones you can use for the, no, they do not have to be a 501c3. It's only for public services.
That's good,
But the
because I kinda
pickleball.
got confused.
Okay, yeah, the pickleball court, so that was kind of a big topic, because they were wanting to start early, and, it was kind of a big deal when we had to tell them, do not start these funds until, or the project until the funds were released.
Well, and that's why then I was asking about the 501c3, because I'm like, did they make like a 501c3 for pickleball?
Oh,
And,
yeah.
like, I can't imagine doing that. So that's where I was confused then when you were saying you were waiting for Fuji to be a 501c3, because I was like, I think pickleball will be, so how would that work? So I'm glad we talked about that.
Yeah, absolutely, and happy Thanksgiving.
All right, I do not have anything else for tonight, so I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support.
Thank you. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
You support me tonight, so
Motion
I'll support
carries.
you.
Thank you, everybody.